Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. If you guys see me, it's you guys didn't see me last week because I had the flu, y'all. Yeah, I had the flu. I made the flu catch me, and I don't think I got it from anybody. I just think that in between the workouts and jumping in front of the AC vent, not a good combination, y'all. Not a good combination at all. So I think that's where I got my little flu from, and I'm still have a little bit of cough, but I'm okay. I'm much better than last week. Last week I was dragging my feet and I was resting. And so I'm back this week. So welcome to this week. Today is Wednesday. Today's the last Wednesday of July, y'all. Did you guys know? Today is the last Wednesday of July 2026. It is. So whether you are ready or not, this year, this month, these days, these weeks, this entire year is running. It's running. So that's where it's at, and that's what's going on. So today is a little bit different because I really don't have any script or anything planned except for these questions that I have. And I decided to do these questions because I should have done these questions a long time ago, honestly. So here we are. It's just conversation, it's water, it's tea, and spend a little bit of time together while you have your lunch because it's about lunchtime if you're in the Eastern Standard Time. And if you're sharp for lunch, which you should be, because you need your sustenance. And instead of always, I know I always come on here and I talk about my one thing, my emotional intelligence and leadership and workplace and human resources and all the things. Today I decided to pause and kind of share how those experiences and emotional intelligence has shaped me with some questions that I folks that when I get one-on-one with clients or when I get with family members or even peers, sometimes they ask questions and I like the questions that they ask me, and so I decided to like record them, and now I'm bringing a few of them here to you. So today we're just answering these questions and just being human. You being human with each other. So for those that don't know, for those that have not been on my podcast, welcome, welcome. If you're listening now and you got to this part of the conversation, welcome. I'm giving you a big hug. Welcome home. So with that, let's get this conversation started.
Dr. Daly, lead the way, building hope every day. Watch the world light up today.
Don't you think she should have continued? Every time I listened to it, I was like, she should have continued. She should have continued. So today's conversation, for those that don't know, for those that haven't been on my podcast to know these details, know that I am first and foremost human. And in case you were wondering that, right? I am a wife, I am a daughter, I am a friend, I am a colleague, and I'm a sister. I'm a woman who I love me some Netflix. Who is Dr. Dale when Dr. Dale is not Dr. Dale? Dr. Dale is someone that's chilling, watching Netflix, reading books. I have a lot of books that I'm reading right now. Where's one of them? If I can find it. Oh, here it is. Right now I'm reading this book. this book. You probably can't read it, but the book that I'm reading right now is How to Tell a Story. It's by NPR, The Moth Hour. If you don't know, you are missing out because I love getting better at my craft, which is speaking, and how to tell better stories for engagement and for connections and for networking. So that's what I'm reading. One of the books I'm reading right now. I love traveling. Love so reading books, traveling, going. I love watching sunsets, sunrise. Husband, if you're listening, this is for you. So you can take me on my next one. I love for anybody that knows me, that is close to me, knows that if you know me, you can hear me way before you can see me. So I do quite a bit of laughing. And if you are on my podcast for more than 5 minutes, you would realize that really quick. I do a lot of smiling and laughing. I love laughing until I cry, especially if I'm watching a comedy or something. So this question is, who is Dr. Dale when she is not working? And spending time with families and friends and being present in the moment and putting my phone away. And I be in the house and I be like, sometimes I'm in the house and I'm like, where is my phone? Because when I'm home and I'm not doing client work or doing something related to Shailene, why you calling me? And I'm live. Why you calling me, Shailene, when I'm live? So when I'm not helping other people achieve the best version and the best of themselves, I am just chilling with my family and with my friends. And I also love slowing down and simply being present and living in the moment. I have found that as I get wiser, I love just laying back and just reflecting. I do a lot of reflecting, a lot of retrospection of my experiences and what I did and what I didn't do and what I would like to improve when I do a lot of that. A lot of that. I mentioned on here quite a bit that I also do a lot of meditation and I love my yoga. If you guys look at me and you're like, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're missing out. I do work out. I started this new workout, y'all. So I started this workout called, first of all, workout has never been my thing. I work with Stars Tina. Shout out to Stars Tina. She was my mentor. So she's a health coach. So follow her, Stars Tina, on Instagram. And Stars Tina introduced me to like work. So she made me love working out, right? And and I needed it, I wanted it, and I leaned into it. And so, right, it worked. But this new workout that I started doing recently is Tabata, and it's supposed to be an Asian Japanese, a Japanese workout that allows you to do the workout to rest for 9 seconds or something. Anyway, I do 30, 45 minutes of it, and I am loving it. I am loving it. So look into it. Maybe you'll like it. It's very structured and it keeps you moving. And I find it for some strange reason fun. Like I really enjoy it and I'm present and I feel like myself when I'm doing it. So that's something that I started doing something that I did for the very first time that I haven't done. So if you want to give that a try, go ahead. It's called Tabata. Tabata. Okay. So, number two question for me. What made me fall in love with leadership and emotional intelligence? I'm not going to go into the details, but I'm going to tell you I believe that leaned into emotional intelligence because it made me better understand myself so that I can better understand the people around me. It wasn't one class that I took. It wasn't my doctorate that I did. It was people, and I wanted to understand them. I wanted to understand myself, so that way I can have better relationships with the people in my life, right? I've always been fascinated by, why two people can look at one thing, the same situation, and walk away with completely different perspective. I always find that so interesting, so fascinating. So I wanted to understand people before I wanted to lead them. And before I even leaned into, and I always say on here, if you're leader of people, you should be a leader of yourself first, hands down. Okay? You should be a leader of yourself first. And then the other question is, what is the hardest leadership lesson I've ever learned? I am going to say that the one of the hardest leadership question, I mean, lessons that I have learned that comes to mind is that at your job, being good at your job doesn't automatically make you a good leader. See the difference? There is a difference. There's a difference. You can be good at doing that skill, that the performative side of things when it comes to your actual the tactical skills for the job, right? But that person that they decide to, because they were good individual contributor, and then they decide, the when management or companies decide to put that person in charge of people without giving that person the skills, the people skills to lead those people that they're now in charge of, that person now becomes, they were so great at doing their one thing, now they're not so great, right? Because they're trying to do what they were doing before, and they're doing it their way, but now they're a leader of a whole tribe of people, which can sometimes becomes a little funky, and if you're not doing it right, right? So I learned that earlier on, that just because you're good at doing your job, you're a good person doing that one job, does not mean that you're a good leader. You're a great leader. So you got to hone those skills. That I did not know. That was a hard leadership lesson that I had to learn. Also, that leadership isn't about having all of the answers. I always thought, and this is one thing that I had to learn the hard way, and I speak about this all the time here on my podcast, that when I first became a manager, how I saw my manager do things, I was doing them. I was slamming doors and slamming papers down on people's desk, or I did some stuff that I was like, "Mm," you know. And I learned that that's another leadership hard lesson that I learned, that I realized I was wrong. I realized that leadership isn't about having all the answers. And it is okay for you to say, I don't know. And it is okay for you to say, let's figure it out together. I believe that it's about helping other people discover their leadership, their inner leader, for the lack of a better word, right? The other question, number 4 question, is, what's something people assume about you that's completely wrong? Oh, that I'm naturally outgoing and just, always had confidence, and self-worth was high up there and everything. No, couldn't be anything further from the truth. I think I put one time on LinkedIn that, in the comment, like, I did a post and someone said, oh, I've never realized that you had issues with confidence, or trusting yourself and believing in yourself. And this person said that, and I said, no, I don't know what I mean. Yes, I'm like, I thought to myself, I wouldn't don't know what I do to make people think that it's like I naturally have it, but I don't. I didn't. People think that because I speak, with I speak on my podcasts like now, or on stages, or with other organizations, or in groups, or in meetings, or as an executive coach, that confident has always been something that came naturally to me, and it hasn't. And maybe with you as well, right? Maybe you can, yourself or someone else, that it looks like it's natural, but if you talk to all the experts out there, they will tell you that a little bit before they get on the stage, they have like a routine or a thing that kind of helps the excitement to die down, so that way they can be at a base level, so that they can perform, right? And and do all the things that when they get on that stage. There are still moments when I ask myself from time to time, the difference, that the different day is that, what's different today is that I don't lean into the fear, and I don't let the fear control how I respond to things. That's the difference. That's the question was, what's something people assume about me that is completely wrong, is that the difference is that I don't allow whatever fear that I'm feeling, I don't allow it to control how I respond. I used to, and I had to learn that the hard way for a long time, for a very long time. And it would eat me up inside when I remember being in board meetings or meetings with the team, and with other departments, and folks would say things in a meeting, or shut me down, or discount me, or shut my voice down, or not even or dismiss what I said, or pretend they didn't hear me. And I would walk away from those, and because of the fear of what people will think or say about me, that would make me not, it would shut me up, and I wouldn't say anything, right? But it taught me over I figured out over time that if I don't have something to say at the tables that I'm at, then who's going to say it for me? Who's going to speak for Dale, right? And so that is something, I no longer allow the fear to control how I respond to those things. I let fear know, yes, we may be scarred, we may be fearful right now, but we are going to do it anyway, because that will practice, there's science behind it, that will practice your subconscious. To the more you do it, and people say, how do you get confidence? Doing the stuff that gives you confidence, and that is whatever that is. You want to speak, just sit down and have a podcast conversation, or you want to write that book, start practicing writing that book, start writing those scenes and those conversations that you have that you want to record. You got to do the thing that you are feel like you don't have confidence to do. You have to do that, and keep doing that over and over and over, and with time it becomes as if you were always doing it. Number 5 question is, what did growing up in Roatán teach you? I grew up in Central America, which is Roatan, Honduras. And it's taught me that, I'm getting another call. It's taught me gratitude, 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 to be grateful for what you have, where you are, for whose you are, and for the most of all, for the community that you have around you, right? You don't always, as a human being, we don't always feel that way. But when it's all said and done, and you look back, so I learned this thing recently, right? About being grateful. And I I learned this thing where this person said, don't ask me who because I don't remember. I look see a lot of training and conversations, and I attend a lot of seminars. And this person said they don't believe, they've never really sat, what didn't really sat well with them is being grateful for everything and everyone. And I thought about that for a minute, because in a way I kind of agreed, maybe. And they said after a while, they talked to their mentor, and their mentor told them, it's not that you have to be grateful for For example, what's the worst thing? You know, you you were you were molested. That's a really terrible thing, right? And for you to be grateful that that happened, for everything and everyone and every scenario, like, that is a hard thing to be even grateful for, right? So thinking about that, I said, and the mentor told the person, you don't have to be grateful for that thing that happened to you. What you can be grateful for is that you survived it, that you didn't let it beat you, your reflections about it, that you overcame it, that it did not keep you down. It taught you something. You can be grateful for that. So that's what I'm going to say to you, is that you probably don't have to be grateful for everything and everyone and all the situations and all the things that people did to you, but you overcoming what they did to you, absolutely, absolutely. So I thought that was really interesting. And then another thing growing up in Honduras taught me is faith in God, faith in a higher power, faith that there is a better the faith and hope that there is a better tomorrow, right? Don't matter what, that all things do work together for my good. Growing up in a small on a small island also taught me that your dreams don't have to stay the size of your surroundings. They don't have to stay the size of your surroundings. They don't have to stay the size of what you saw your siblings or your parents do or didn't do. They don't have to stay that size. You can actually grow from them. You can be you can do better. You really can. And then number 6 question is, if you could go back and talk to your 25-year-old self, what would you say? I would say stop waiting. Ugh. I would say stop waiting for permission. Please stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to do the thing, to say the thing, to open up, to be at that table, to write that book, to leave that job, to, like, stop waiting for someone else to see you, to see your value, to see that you do have something to say, that you can add value to this conversation, to that group, that you don't have to stay in that relationship where that person is treating you like trash. Like, stop waiting. That's what I would have told myself at 25. I would have told myself that. Stop trying to make everyone else understand your dreams. Stop trying to make everyone else see your dreams and try to and see it from your perspective, and, like, stop trying to do that. Trust yourself. Trust yourself more, so much more. That's what I would have told myself. I would have told myself that stuff at 25. I would have told myself, start sooner. Don't wait. Don't wait, because you're waiting for yourself. You're waiting for yourself. Stop waiting on everybody else. Everybody else are trying to figure it out too. Everybody else is trying to figure it out. Okay? And even though that person that's next to you looks like they got it together and they're doing their thing, they're still trying to figure it out. Okay? And they may look like they got it together, but most of the times they don't. Most of the times they don't, right? Because they're probably just exuding confidence and making it look like they know what they're doing, but in reality, they don't know diddly squat. I can't tell you. You think about it. How many jobs have you been at where the manager talked the good talk, the other person in the interview said the right things, and they got the job that you applied for in the job? because you were internal and they brought somebody else in new, and they said they brought somebody else in because the person had more experience and they had the degrees and they had what they had, all the things that they checked off all the box. But when things settled down after those 90 days, you started seeing really clear what that person could and could not do. Oh my goodness. So that's number 6, y'all. Okay, I'm having too much fun with these questions. Maybe I should do this again. Let me know if I should do this again. Let me know. Number 7, what achievement are you most proud of? Hmm. It's not the awards that I got. It's not my doctorate degree. It's it's every message I received from someone that said that helped me. It's I am so grateful that I leaned into emotional intelligence and allowed myself to be vulnerable enough to see my blind spots and learn from them and grow from them. That is my achievement. Like I number 7 question I'm answering is, what achievement or am I most proud of? And think about it for your own life. What achievement to date are you most proud of? It's not something that's tangible for me. It is the fact that I am able to be self-aware and know that I'm growing, and that I am I am finally at a time in my life where at a place in my life where the relationships that I have around me, I am having honest conversations, deep conversations, honest, deep, human conversation that makes me a better person. I couldn't do that before because I felt like if I showed people who I was, they wouldn't like me. They wouldn't want me. They would make fun of me. They would look down on me. And I didn't do all of that before, but I'm so glad that all after all these years and all that I've studied and all that I've experienced, that I've finally leaned into being more me, and being that way, good, bad, and different. Not that I'm perfect, because nobody is. Everybody is perfectly imperfect, but I love the fact that the impact that I'm making on the clients' lives, that I try something that works for me, and then I suggest it to them, and then they try it and it works for them too. That gives me, I was like, oh, okay, so it's good. My framework is working. I love that. That's my achievement. Like every day I get to wake up and really look at myself in a mirror and lovingly accept all the good, the bad, the great, because there is no bad, right? It's not that everything is great. I feel like nothing about us humans is good or bad. I don't know. More and more I'm leaning into not putting anything that happens to us in a category of that's terrible or that's not good. It's just information. And if you once you receive that information, the question is, what are you going to do with it? Do you want to improve that information that you just received? How are you going to respond to that information? And then decide what you're going to do going forward, right? So that's one of my proudest and biggest achievements. Number 8. Number 8. What's something you're still working on? Rest. Why can't I just rest? I'm leading it. Like when I was sick last week, another example, right? When I was sick last week, it took me some time to lean into resting. Even when I walked away from my corporate job and decided to do my own entrepreneur journey, I had to learn that there were times that I needed, that I couldn't work from 9 to 9 or 9 to 12. I could, and I did it for a while, but my well being when I wake up the next day, was I completely rested? My well being, I was doing the same thing that, when you go to these jobs, you are giving it your all and you're leaving at 8, 9 o'clock at night and you don't even realize the time. And so I was doing that for myself. And yes, that's great, but you still got to have a cutoff time because you are only human and your body is not a robot. So that's what I had to, I'm still leaning into. I'm still leaning into it. It's something that I'm practicing every day. I've spent years believing that productivity meant progress, that I needed to be doing something every single time, every single second of my day in order for me to feel like I've done something for the day. Like I needed, like rest was something, is something that I'm leaning into every single day. So now I started to do is like every couple of weeks, I intentionally put rest on my calendar and I just have that. Nothing else on my calendar for that day except rest. And I still suffer with that. So that tells you all of these years of going and doing a 9 to 5 or going to school or doing housework or taking care of my nieces and nephews and like always having something on the list to do. It's hard when you finally just sit back and do nothing. I'm realizing that that is so freeing. Oh, it's so freeing. So more and more I'm leaning into it, and my husband kind of definitely helped me lead into that when we got married. Now I'm learning that slowly, I'm learning slowly that rest is part of leadership too. That's what I'm learning. That you can't pour from an empty cup, that you should not be pouring from your cup. You should be pouring from your saucer, which is the overflow. Because if you're pouring from here, this is where you're supposed to be drinking. You're supposed to pour from here and help others. And if you are pouring from your cup and not your saucer, which is your overflow, then you are doing yourself a disservice. And that is something that I'm leaning into and learning every day. Okay. And I did say slowly. uh, I'm going to answer one more question. One more question that came in over here on Tickety Talk is, what's the biggest misconception about emotional intelligence? That it's soft. That's what I'm going to say. That people think that emotional intelligence is weak, that it's about emotions. It's not. It's not for people that are nice. It's not you being nice. That is one of the biggest misconceptions out there about emotional intelligence. A lot of the times, emotional intelligence means having that hard conversations instead of avoiding them, right? It's facing that person. Last a couple weeks ago, I had to have a hard conversation with a family member that I did not want to have, but I was asked. No, let me be honest. I was begged. I was begged, right, to have this conversation. So the last question I'm answering here is, what is one of the misconceptions about emotional intelligence? And it is that people think that it's soft, it's for the weak, that it's all about emotion and mushy stuff and being soft. It's not. Some Sometimes, most of the times, emotional intelligence is having that hard conversation that you've been avoiding. And I mentioned that I had to have a hard conversation with a family member a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want to have. I, me, I avoided it. The person begged me, and I said, no, we don't need to do this. This is that, and this person is that. They're not going to receive it, and all the things. But when I finally sat down and I got real with myself and asked myself the question, why don't you want to have this conversation? Is it because of your ego and you don't want to talk to the person, or is it for them? Like, who is it going to, and the question I have to ask, is it going to improve things, or in any shape or in any shape or form? And my answer was, I didn't know. And and the person that was asking me to have it is because they felt like I could have the conversation, but I had to prep myself to have this conversation with this person. And it wasn't easy, but it was worth it, because after I had the conversation, clarity came into play. But I had to, when I said I had to prep myself, I had to be in the right frame of mind, so that way if the person said anything to me, or yeah, if they said anything during that conversation, I wouldn't take it personal. And that was hard, but I did it. And I was so much prouder, I was so proud of myself. I was so much better for it. Sometimes emotional intelligence means setting boundaries, and not boundaries that allow you to avoid things that you need to do or conversations that you need to have, but boundaries where you're protecting your peace, where you are like rest. I needed to have a set time that I rest, that I walk away or I cut off working, even working for my own business, right? I should have a cutoff time. Emotional intelligence, sometimes it means saying no. That's not soft, and that's not weak, because telling someone no is you telling yourself yes, right? So that's what those are. I answered, I came here answering 8, but I answered 9. The additional bonus one, I know today's conversation was definitely a little bit different. Thank you all for spending the time with me. I didn't think I was going to stay here this long, but this was good. You guys asked some really good questions. If you really like this, if you want me to do a part 2 of more questions, stop. If you're listening, put it in the comments. Let me know. Do a part 2. Maybe you have a question that you would like me to answer. I'll be happy to. You don't even have to share your name or anything. I won't share your name. I'll keep it anonymous, and I will definitely answer the question for you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Subscribe, share this with someone that you know or think needs it. If one of these answers that I gave resonated with you or something in any shape or way, I'd love for you to let me know down below and why. And if you have any questions, like I said, that you wanted me to ask, let me know, and maybe I'll do a part 2. And make this a monthly thing. Who knows? Maybe. So I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. And thank you for being a part of a Glimpse of Growth community. Because you don't need to grow a whole lot for you to make a change in your life. You can grow just a glimpse. Just a glimpse. And I'll see you guys next week. next week.
Dr. Daly, lead the way.